Hey, hello. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Zim, and today I'm gonna show off my watch collection. Now, in total, I have around one, two, three, six watches, which includes three Casios, one Halo, one Timex, and one Swatch. Yeah, and all of these watches they mean something to me because most of them are actually gifts from other people, my friends and family, and also gifts personally to myself. And they commemorate something, an event, or a milestone in my life. So, yeah, let's get started. So, my first watch, not really my first watch, but my first watch in my collection that I'm gonna show off is this, my G-Shock, my Casio G-Shock, my DW5600E. Is it clear? Sure. So this watch was actually given to me after I finished my O levels, and I had good grades out of it. And my dad bought me this watch. Yeah, he bought me this watch to commemorate that, and also because of some other personal thing. Actually, it wasn't even my first choice. I actually wanted a F91W, but he thought it was too cheap, so he got me this. I bought it at a local dealer here in Brunei. Now here's the back to show its origin. So it's actually legit. Can you actually see? Sorry about my shit camera, but there you go. So this watch, it's been in my shelf for the past 7 years, and I love it. This is the first watch in my collection, and this is literally the catalyst for my interest in watches because uh, some random night I looked up this watch, randomly just because I own it, so whatever. So because of that, it actually sparked as I said, a catalyst. It sparked an interest towards me because this watch is significant in the enthusiast market because it's known to be rugged, it's known to be cool, it's efficient, it's there. It's a 5600E. It's a base model for a lot of customized, specialized watches. Not watches, watches out there, and it's an everyday G-Shock that anyone could wear. It has a lot of variations in terms of colors, functions, and etc. And if I'm not mistaken, there's even a Bluetooth version out there. But who knows? It might be some other watch, but this watch is the backbone of my collection and also the backbone of G-Shock. Don't quote me on that. I'm just bullshitting. Now, my second watch. This is a gift after O levels. Now my second watch, after watching a lot of videos about watches and etc., surprisingly isn't a Casio or a G-Shock. It was actually a T-Max. Now, unfortunately, the watch isn't here with me because I lent it to a friend because he's having an internship for 6 months in Japan, and when I was sending him off, I saw that he didn't have a watch, and the watch I've been wearing is the T-Max. So I'm like, I have a lot of watches at home, so might as well. What's one watch? What's one watch among the six that I own? It literally tells us time. But so anyway, this watch I've bought was a random purchase in a local supermarket, but it's legit. It's a legitimate model. It's from a legitimate supplier, and I think I have the paper somewhere to show, but I don't really care. I'm not really bothered to look at it to find it. So anyway, enough babbling. So this T-Max is actually a easy reader. You can look it up online. It's the one with the silver bezel or the stainless steel bezel with the leather strap. If you want to look it up specifically, this is the model. This is the model name. It's a very cheap watch. I mean, relatively. I mean, I saw Teddy Bulbasaur bought it in an American supermarket in a video I've watched like a few years ago. Now in that supermarket, this watch, the Easy Reader, runs about maybe under 30-20 USD, which is pretty cheap for the price for them. But in Brunei, it runs about 113, 119 if I'm not mistaken, which is a pretty high markup if you ask me. So I'd say that's all because of logistics, of course, being me halfway around the world from the US, being this is a US made, being this is a US brand, but owned by the Chinese at this point. From this point of time, I'm not sure about the future, but yeah, I bought this watch as a commemoration for my uh, graduation from Polytechnic Brunei. I finished my 3 years taking my Higher National Diploma HND in Mechanical Engineering, and to commemorate that, in a random trip to a supermarket, I just bought myself, hey, you deserve this. You've seen a lot of videos. You've seen Timex being mentioned a lot of times in YouTube videos and review videos. Why not just buy yourself something nice? There was actually a Seiko in the next booth to where this was displayed, but being just graduated, I don't really have a lot of cash, just to afford this Timex. Yeah, graduation from Polytechnic Brunei, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So moving on. So the first watch was the 5600E, DW 5600E. The second one was a Timex Easy Reader. Now the third watch, yeah, there you go, is a Casio. Now this watch was a gift from a friend on my birthday, and I did not expect this at all. It was a pleasant surprise. It is a Casio. It's a stainless steel Casio dive watch. I'm not sure if it's actually a dive watch, but it's a stainless steel. Sure, a dive watch. It has a silver time phase. It's pretty cool looking. It shines. It's really shiny. It's a gift on my birthday, and when I asked him about it, it's also a way of showing gratitude for always helping him before exams with his studies, etc. Because me studying product design now, I'm in my final year. Back then, we were studying almost every night during the exam week. Me helping him a lot because most of the modules at that time were mechanical engineering based. So I helped him a lot, and this is his way of showing appreciation. And I haven't worn this watch a lot, and which I should, which is pretty cool. I never looked up this watch online because when I asked him about how much was it, he wanted to keep it a secret. So I didn't want it to look online because I don't want to accidentally looked up the price, out of respect. But what? I love this watch, and why this watch specifically? Why stainless steel was during those study sessions on Discord, of course, during the pandemic. I kept mentioning that what, during my graduation, I want to buy myself a stainless steel dive watch, something similar to this, and saying that a lot, repetitively for maybe like 2-3 nights. You know, he bought it for me, which I appreciate a lot. I love this watch. I love all my watches, and this one is just one of the watches that has a lot of meaning to me. Quite priceless. Yeah, there you go. This is my third watch in this collection, which is pretty cool. I had to actually adjust the metal wristbands to make it more shorter so it can actually fit. I tried to actually I tried to refit the watch myself, watching YouTube tutorials, having these arrows indicate where to remove them. These small arrows here, but I think they need, I wouldn't say specialized tools, but the tools that I have at that time wasn't suited for it. So I just bought it to so I bought it to like a Casio shop and then let them refit it for maybe $7, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I should have worn. So these are one of my least worn watches, but I should be wearing this more. But yeah, a pretty cool watch. I love it. It's one of the best gifts I had in my life. But yeah, yeah. So anyway, enough with the sentimental shit. Now on to my next watch. Now my next watch is between these two, which I'm gonna start with this. It's a normal smartwatch. It's a smartwatch from Halo. Specifically, it's an LS05. It's a pretty old model. I think maybe in 2016 it was made. But yeah, it's pretty practical. It tells you what it needs to do. It connects to your phone, tells you notifications. It tells you your steps, the time, the date, the weather, your heartbeat, your calories burnt. Just pretty cool. You know, your heartbeat. It has a lot of features, which I really appreciate. My mom bought me this using her bonus maybe a year ago. Yeah, this watch is one of my dailies for when I'm doing sports. See, it lets me control music when it's connected to Bluetooth to my phone. It tells me notifications. It tells me the weather. This feature, one of the coolest features, is actually they actually tell you the quality of your sleep, how much sleep that you actually had between light sleep and deep sleep. I'm not sure how they would know that. Presumably with the heart monitor they have, you know, this. But yeah, this is a watch I've worn a lot as a daily, and I've come to love it because before my mom bought me this watch, I actually had a thought of getting a smartwatch. Actually, a pretty old smartwatch which has a much more squarish face, more squarish silhouette. But you know, this is a gift for my mom, and it's priceless. Uh, as I mentioned before, it has its own application on my mobile phone. Um, Before this, I actually used a much older application which supports the watch that actually enables weather and also more customization on the timefaces. Like for example, this it's one I had before: analog, digital, digital. Yeah, but the new one, the Halo Fun, the newest application that I have, it's a bit annoying. I don't really like it. Not a lot of customizations, not a lot of features compared to the old one that's not supported now. So anyway, that's my LS05, my smartwatch. It had it used to have a feature where it automatically turns on when I do this, but it doesn't do that anymore. I don't know why, which is kind of annoying. Makes it kind of useless now because if I want to see at the time what time is it or what's up with my notification, I have to press a button to actually for it to pop up. I mean, it's not too much of a hassle, but it's much more convenient to do this, you know, and then see what I need to see. But it's fine. Yeah, that's my smartwatch, the LS05. Now moving on. Now this watch. Now this watch. Before I had this watch, most of you know what watch is this. What watch this is. This is an F91W. I've wanted this watch for the longest time, since this watch, since before this, I had this watch. And every day if I see, and every day whenever I go to a supermarket, my local supermarket, or any place that I know that has this watch in display, I always stop by. It's a very inexpensive watch. It's a very affordable, practical watch. But if it was up to me, I would never buy this for myself, because I have a lot of watches here, and this is just a really practical watch. It just tells you the time, tells you the date, tells you the day. And I have a lot of watches that already tells me that, like this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and some other watches that I have. So for financial reasons, this wasn't a fun purchase for me. This wasn't a smart purchase for me. But fortunately, I didn't buy this. This was actually a gift from a friend from his trip from Japan. It was also very random, which is which I really appreciate a lot. I didn't know he was going to Japan, and he was asking me things about Japan. What's cool to buy there, what's cool there, and I told him about a watch that I really like, the Casio F91W. This watch is very popular. It is part of pop culture, popular culture. This watch, if I'm not, for me to exaggerate, this watch is the AK-47 of the watch world. Everyone has this watch. Everyone has the ability to get this watch. Most copies in this world are this. Watch copies in the world are based on this watch. People copy this watch a lot, and it tells you a lot. Even the owners of this watch runs from celebrities to fucking terrorists that makes bombs with these watches. You know, if I had a choice to bring two watches to Mars, I'd bring this because it's as a functional piece, and I'd bring this because as a daily fucking driver, because this makes me happy. Fucking hell. Yeah. Of all the reviews, of all the videos I've seen of this, some other watches, these are one of the most highly regarded watches. Not because it's the best watches out there, because it's the most practical, it's the most popular, and it's the watch that everyone owns. And I love it very much. And if it was up to me, I would never buy this watch, but thankfully it was a gift to me, and it's only a blessing for me to own this. It's been a blessing. I've actually gifted friends this watches instead of buying it for myself. Fucking hell. Oh yeah. And if you haven't noticed, these straps are not ODM or OEM, whatever. It didn't came with the watch originally. I actually bought this online separately, and honestly, it makes the watches much more. It makes the watch much more rugged. It makes the watch much more cool. As I told my friend about it, it makes this watch looks much more expensive with its original resin strap, which is pretty cool. Just buy it from China. It's pretty cheap. Yeah. I love this watch. This is my daily driver. This is my daily beater. Next to this chunky fat old boy. Now I think that's 5 watches. Now on to my last watch. My latest watch that I've bought for myself, and definitely will not be my last, is this. I kept it in the box. Just keep it safe because I really have a watch stand. A lot of watch stands for my watch. I'll just print some more in the future with my 3D printer. I only have this so far. I gave one to my brother. Now this watch is a funny story. It's not really that funny, but it's an interesting story. I had my internship for 3 months in Malaysia last year, early last year, and the first mall I went into, I was like, I saw this watch shop. I was like, huh, maybe if I had the cash, I'd buy a watch to commemorate myself, to commemorate my 3 months here. So I'm like, sure, why not? Whatever, bro, just keep it at the back of your head, which I did, kept in the back of my head. Now, how did I end up buying this watch? It's pretty cool. You know, I was in my last days, my last 2 days in Malaysia. You know, I want to buy something before I fly home, which originally was a pair of sneakers. I went to maybe 5 fucking malls to actually look for a sneaker I want to buy and bring home, which I had failed tremendously because the sneakers I actually wanted to buy were they were cool online, definitely, with the reviews and etc. But when I actually saw them face to face, the shoes, nah, they weren't pretty cool. They didn't seem that cool enough. It looked too chunky. It looked too weird on my feet. If you wanted to know what those shoes were, they were a pair of. I'm not sure if this is the right model name, but I guess you can just try and look it up. It was the XC72 New Balance and the New Balance 520s. I don't know. I don't really care anymore. So I gave up looking for those shoes. I had them in hand. I had them on feet. At first, the first time I looked at them, they were pretty cool. But the more I had them on feet, they were pretty. They weren't really giving me the vibe. So I just gave up. Before I left the mall, I saw, there you go, a Swatch shop. So I had this money to buy shoes, and I didn't buy shoes. So I'm like, you know what? Let me buy a watch from Swatch. So I did. I went to a shop. I went to the shop. I looked around, and this is the watch that I took the most interest. It has an exposed fake mechanisms inside with a combination of silver gray, a bit of gold, copper, a bit of blue Tiffany, and also red. The time the time hands are pretty basic, but no, this is a pretty cool watch on hand. With a black resin and everything. These parts inside pops out, which is pretty cool. It really shows my product design, my mechanical engineering vibe. It's giving off that kind of vibe. Yeah. But yeah, this is a watch I bought myself to commemorate my to commemorate my 3 months in Malaysia, internship in Malaysia. Yeah, if you want to know, interestingly, there was a recent news back then during that time about Malaysia banning the LGBT watch in Malaysia. The LGBT Swatch watches in Malaysia. You can look it up. So that's the era. That's the time where I've gotten this watch and actually saw the watches on the back counter of the cashier, which is pretty cool. I asked about it. I actually held it in my hand, which is nothing special. It's basically a normal watch with LGBT colorway. That's about it. Which I wouldn't say is pretty cool, but it's just a colorway. But they branded it as you know LGBT pride marketing thing. So that really that really lost the favor of the Malaysian government, which I understand. Malaysia being a Muslim country, and they don't vibe with that. Same as my country. So yeah, that's the last of my watches. Definitely not my last. There's a bit of there's quite a lot of scratches on it, but since you bought this watch, it comes with a free buffing and battery service as long as you have the warranty card with you. Yeah, so those are my watches: my DW5600E, my F91W, my LS05 Halo, my Timex Easy Reader, which is not here, it's in Japan. And also, maybe not the last, the case here, this stainless steel case here, a gift to my friend. And lastly, this watch. So that's about it. That's my watch. I wouldn't say collection. No, those are my watches. Thank you for listening. And this is my cat. Meow. Bye bye.